Another double Dutch standard. Let's talk about this one. Dutch are cheap. We know that one, I know. And this is the joke, the old joke that is like, oh, how do you make copper wire? You put a copper penny in a room with two Dutch people and watch them fight over it. That's how you make copper wire. My dad told me that joke, and he's Jewish. So if the Jews are saying that about the Dutch, maybe there's something to it. I don't know. But in my experience, I don't know. I mean, look, I think that when Dutch people are, I found this out when I came to my mother-in-law's house, okay? And I was sitting there, and my mother-in-law, she lives right there in Limburg, and she's very open. It's, kind of below the rivers, I get it. So, come into my house, and as soon as we have a chance just to say hello, she's like, here, have some fly, and... So I'm like, okay, it's a kind of pie with a fruit filling, and it's always delicious. And would you like a cup of coffee? Yes, thank you. I will sit on your sofa, and I'll have a cup of coffee. And would you like a koekje? Yes, please. I will take a koekje as well. And she opens up the cookie tin, and I take a cookie, and then sure enough, she's like, heh! And I'm like, ah! And then I remember reading about this in the book about the stereotypes about the Dutch, and I was like, And I thought, I'm going to tease you now. I was like, oh, you almost took off a finger. You were so quick to close that cookie tin. She's like, what do you mean? I said, it's true what they say. They say that about the Dutch, that you mean if you have one cookie, you only get one, because they close the cookie tin and they put it away. That's because you Dutch people, you're cheap, huh? And my mother-in-law, she was like, oh no, I closed the cookie tin because when you want another cookie, then the cookies, they will be fresh. And I'm like, oh, that makes me the asshole. And every American before me, apparently. And now I know where that stereotype comes from. Dutch people are about quality, not quantity. And Americans are like, what? It's humid here, so we close the cookie tin. Otherwise, the cookies will be spoiled. It is efficient. And Americans are like, what? I'll just write cheap. And maybe that's where it comes from, I guess. It's kind of, it's weird when you think about the Dutch budget, for example. Okay, I know that it's getting a lot cheaper. They're cutting like 3 billion euros here and another billion euros there, and apparently it's all coming out of the arts subsidy. But as I was traveling around Amsterdam, I was noticing that maybe there are some signs that we've been a bit overgenerous with some of these public artworks. If you take a look at these ones, this is like in Amsterdamse Bos. This is a big forest in Amsterdam, and somehow they decided it would be a good idea not to plant more living trees, but to plant a sculpture of dead trees. Some guy was like, hey man, hey, enjoy your trees and your green, forest, but think about all the trees that had to die for this forest to live. Like, what? And there must have been a big sack full of public money somewhere, and some guy was like, you know what, I'm gonna plant some more trees, maybe in a community that doesn't have many trees. But then some guy came in and was like, no, wait a minute, man. Hear me out. Instead of planting new trees that will give life and oxygen, I want to make people think about death. And that idea won. So I don't know what the theme is here, but it's kind of a trend that I see developing. This is a sculpture that was part of an Art South huge exhibition. This is an enormous sculpture that was there taking up this entire public square. It's it's a female body. Sculptors, we love the female body. And the head is cut off, the legs and the arms are cut off, and it's standing right there in front of the Amsterdam Hilton. And I'm like, what message are you trying to send with this public sculpture? It's like, welcome to Amsterdam, tourists. Here's a dead hooker. I don't... And then here's another one, which was, this was a sculpture that was commissioned for the opening of this new public building. It is a series of white ladders that extend out of the top of the building and they over the street level, where there's a human life-size figure holding his arms up to the heavens. And it's called How to Meet an Angel. And I thought, wow, that's beautiful. What is the building that is being opened with this big new sculpture? It's a mental health center for people with psychiatric problems. And I thought, what message are you sending here? If you are thinking about killing yourself, do it here. It's a suicide diving board. Here's another sculpture that is in front of a school in Amsterdam. It's just some metal guy, I guess. At least I think it's a guy. How can you tell? Because of the spiky steel erection. In this day and age, when we are trying to protect our children from child pornography, why are we making them look at this shit in front of their own school? And okay, I should say, I get it. Art is what you like. It's, taste is unarguable. And maybe I am a critic and a crazy crank. And for every piece of art, there's probably one guy who's like, meh, like even the most perfect art in the world, like Michelangelo's David. There's probably one guy out there who's like, nah, it could be a little bit bigger, yeah. But give it to a Dutch guy to fix, and he'd be like, oh, I'll fix it. No, thank you.